Up investors, Ken here from Dyslexic Investor, and thank you so very much for joining me on a wonderful, fantastic Sunday night live stream stock market chit chat on our live stream fun stuff on Sundays. Gary, hopefully everyone is doing well out there. If I can get a thumbs up or a great sound check, that would be fantastic out there. I would greatly appreciate that. And you can do that in the various chats. So we're going to be doing the same stuff we look at, basically looking at some charts, looking at what could be happening in the market, some support and resistance lines, and just kind of going from there. And just having some good old time and some great charts we could be looking at, some potential trades. I haven't been able to do the extensive amount of research that I usually do on that due to some of the hiccups that I had this past couple days. But let's go ahead and just have some fun and just chill out there. Thank you everyone for joining. Can I get a wonderful thumbs up, thumbs down? So Australian Stock Exchange, I don't know that. Fish, thank you man. Again, I want to thank everyone for the fine comments in the Discord and in the community tab on YouTube. I really do appreciate all the nice stuff. Fish, Blue, thank you there out there. Andrew, what up, what up? How's everyone doing? I'm feeling okay, Fish. It's a really strange feeling. Ryan, DMC8282, what up, what up? I've been reading the comments within Discord, but I haven't been able to keep up with it, honestly. And I'll definitely do a much better job starting tonight into Monday on being more keen and being available to comment on things. Brian, thank you for put some kids kidney stone. So I'll just give a quick little summary of what happened. I basically strained my left groin hernia, and I also strained my hernia in my belly on my left side, and that I'm just waiting on to have an appointment on Tuesday to kind of go through a potential general surgeon to kind of see if I need surgery to fix those, not hemorrhoids, hernias. The hernias. No, I didn't actually have a kidney stone. Yeah, because everyone I talked to thought it was a kidney stone when I was in the doctors, and they had to do a bunch of CT scans and ultrasounds, and they found out that it was not a kidney stone. I strained my hernia really bad, doing absolutely nothing. I was sitting down. So I don't know what's worse, but anywho, enough said. I'm recovering. I'll be fine. Thank you, everything. Yeah, not hemorrhoids. I'm sorry, hernia. Hemorrhoids are in the other thing, in the other door. Which I educated myself exactly what the hernia parts are in the bone. No, I didn't catch the C. Okie dokie, let's go ahead and let's just jump into the charts. Thank you for everyone for the dang wild DMC. Oh Jesus, I'm recovering. Thank you, Kelly D. I appreciate it. I'm going to be my same chipper self and just giving nice, fantastic analysis and hopefully get back on to creating more daily YouTube videos and so forth. Ryan calls on NAT. Let's go start with this one. Let's just jump right in. So NAT, they just had earnings. Wasn't the greatest. Really came down with a lot of the other basically cloud SaaS kind of companies that have been really just making substantial amount of headwind due to the overall virus, and just the switch kind of came off here. We're drawing some fibs here from the previous high to the low. We kind of came back up here. We had a huge jump up here. This is basically what happened after the earnings, bringing it down substantially. Didn't break the low here, so we can call this like a triple or 3-time low here. and then looking for this continue to bounce here. We're seeing, Ryan, the 5 and 8 have not crossed through the 21. That's going to be kind of the key point here. I'm going to actually redraw these fib lines because we have a new swing high to low here. Where's the low? Is this 30? This is lower, right? Just by here. So you can kind of see here why did that not tick? There we go. Previous swing high to previous low. Seeing here kind of having some issues here, basically around the 38.2 percentile move. Not seeing too much movement here around this particular moving average here. The 21 is still, it's kind of just hovering around that point. Bounced off really hard off the 50-day, which is basically, again, what we talk about. That's like the hedge fund moving average that a lot of hedge funds that are aggressive goes in. We can see how that plays out. But again, this thing was pretty much beaten up. Now it's kind of make a pretty sharp recovery. This is really could be like, Ryan, I think you know this expression, it could be a dead cat bounce, meaning that it can kind of just bounce up, hit off this line here, and never regain its momentum and then come crashing back down, even lower prices than breaking basically through the 50-day. So this is basically, depending on how you're playing this, Ryan, I'm not sure what calls you had looking at this particular moving, but seeing this can potentially, if it starts breaking below that 50-day, is definitely going to be kind of a red flag. If it starts closing below that line for me, without a doubt. Let me do a quick overview on the S&P 500 real fast. Well, we got some folks coming in. So the S&P 500, we are really close on kind of just hovering around those all-time highs here. Let me readjust this. Really hovering close to all-time highs. Normally, we just don't come crashing through it. Looks like we're just going to be maybe gently just climbing into it, potentially trying to break through it, and potentially seeing some of the prices go higher. If we do get an aggressive push through, we could get an aggressive push back down if that momentum can't stay. As of right now, this is really just, again, a lot of the earnings is over. The huge companies that we're talking about, the Apple, the Amazons, and folks like that, the earnings are over. So now people are suspecting and looking for other economic news or other news or whatever other headwinds could be coming out with the market. Of course, we've seen the rise of gold. Gold has kind of been fluctuating dramatically, but it's definitely something to look at. It's definitely, I'm always I won't say nervous, but it's mostly I'm a little bit more hesitant around when we try to reach all-time highs, because it can go either direction. We can come slicing through it, or we can just tap it a couple times, test the waters, and then come crashing down. Not crashing down like a 20% correction, but we could see a 5% correction easily in the market if things don't work out as well as we think we could do. Ryan says, I'm balls deep in UVX calls. Oh, okay. Well, UVXY, you're really just playing on volatility, so we can just kind of look at the overall, what the VIX is doing. And what this is really doing is just continue trending lower. But again, I don't have a crystal ball. Things can change overnight. Things can change really fast, and we can come skyrocketing higher. This is usually kind of the pattern that it maintains. Are we going to see $80 anytime soon in the VIX? Most likely not. But this could be this kind of a downward movement, because again, we have so many things that could be headwinds coming up. We have the elections, which is the biggest really component here, and we have this ongoing stuff that the Fed's backstopping the stock market. We have rising gold prices. We have unemployment issues. The overall growth of the economy is kind of just swaying left or right. So just be very mindful out there. This is not a time where I'm just throwing all my eggs in one basket, or just really just having a lot of exposure in the market and just being very more methodical in the way I trade, or even the way I'm potentially opening up or starting new positions. Ryan's hoping for the SPY to crash on Monday. I don't know. The crash is going to be difficult. Yeah, Buffett did buy Ram Gold, didn't he? What up, Brian? Thank you for joining, my friend. I love the colors. Fish, can you do DE thinking about a call that can earnings this week? So DE is John Deere, right? So buying calls into the overall earnings call is going to be a little bit difficult. It's not usually my strategy, Fish, to buy calls, especially with IV crush. We could see, again, from the previous swing high to low, we can see a beautiful pattern really recovering here, getting well above the 200-day EMA, and now continually to grind higher here, breaking above that previous high here and with a lot of style here, looking for potential next overhead resistance around 202 and then potential downside to around 181. So the 181 is basically going to come in right in line with the 21 EMA. This looks like a very poised chart here to kind of see to potentially grind higher. Again, earnings, as you know, is a complete coin flip, so I cannot put a substantial amount of cash or investment in it on an earnings play, but would be an interesting one to see how it plays out. Let's see, what are they saying on this move? They're saying $10 move. Woo, that's extensive. So $10, that could put it back exactly down to this potentially the 21 EMA. Not saying that's going to happen, but they're saying a $10 move plus or minus, and that's basically where our two lines or guidelines are kind of looking at currently here, Fish. Between the $200 price target here at the 1272 extension here on the Fibonacci retracements. What we also can do is kind of do a other reversal. We can do a swing low to swing high. So we'll do here. Oopsies, did that wrong. My bad. We do this swing high. Please click. There we go. To swing low. So nothing substantial is coming off here to the downside, so it's going to be more on the downside turn. Since we just reached an all-time high just last week, this could be, again, it's a strong, very strong indicator in the market, but this is looking really strong to really just holding that 5 and 8 exponential moving averages and this continue grinding higher. Alpaca stuff, thank you for joining, my friend. Thank you for sending that lovely video of your farms. That was awesome. It's Barrett gold. Oh, okay, I thought it was Ram gold. Sorry, and that's just the gold symbol, right? GLD. Yeah. Again, I'm working on a couple of videos. I had a lot of ideas come through while I've just been laying around doing nothing and just trying to relax, which is difficult to do. This has hit an all-time high again. This is really just kind of trades with the overall gold price. And it basically kind of it's a company that mines gold and does very well. It does it very well. It pays a dividend and all this kind of various stuff. And basically, it's just highly levered to gold prices. So if gold goes up, the stock goes up. If gold goes down, it goes down. That being said, we hit an all-time high basically when gold hit an all-time high, and now kind of had when gold dropped a couple percentages that last week, it really kind of did that same motion with that gap down here. Coming in right here at the 50-day, again, could this be a buying opportunity? I'm not sure. I'm not the most, I won't say, well-versed in the gold stuff, but we'll see on how this plays out with gold. Especially, I'm just seeing some support around 25.43 on the long-term side, and that's basically kind of lines up with the 50-day here. If you're going to be more short-term on this particular hold, again, what Buffett does is he did this trade probably months ago or even weeks ago before this whole run-up happened and things like that. Yes, you're kind of buying in prices that were basically happened like 2 months ago, but that being said, that's still it's really hard to be on the coattails of what Buffett does because he's going to be doing it further ahead of us. Leading Edge Lithium Australia. I don't know what OLL is. I don't trade Australian index. My friend. Ryan, Nicola, 5045 puts. Yeah, what did they do? Again, I didn't really watch the market that much on Friday. So with our good old friends over at Nicola, it's been a heck of a ride over there, without a doubt. Seeing a lot of movement in this particular company, having the previous swing high to low into high again to kind of see a potential rebound from that previous move. We're going to actually get rid of that. We're going to replace that to what we're currently looking at to get updated information. So previous swing high to 27, what is that, 20, this is low to high. So with this one, we can kind of do that, and then what we're also going to do is just a plain Fibonacci retracement from the swing high to swing low, and you can kind of see that we're just a hair over the $45 limit, which is the 23.6 percentile move. So you're buying, what did you say? So this week's Friday's puts for 45. Yeah, so we basically just want it to start coming down drastically this week, or basically Monday, like your UVXY calls. You really want that to start coming down drastically. This is going to be, the momentum's kind of somewhat behind it here on the chart here, even though I agree with you. Like, I don't think this is a really hefty price target for a company that really doesn't have much revenue or any revenue at all, to be quite honest. But we are seeing that 50-day up here. That could be a potential line in the sand here at the $51 price target. But that being said, this thing has a mind of its own, really, Ryan. And there is a somewhat of a cult following of this stock. And even though it was completely, I don't even know how it was able to rebound from its last earnings and just continue to climb higher. I know they got that deal from Waste Management, basically, of building like 2,500 garbage trucks, which they don't even have that really intact yet. And it's not even in. They don't even have a plant yet. So I don't know. There's just too many red flags for me. Like, I would love to short this, but this is just not the time for me to short it, because I think it's just too much random movement right now. Because we are seeing the parabolic SAR to kind of start giving it some strength. We are seeing the 5 and 8 start crossing through the 21. Again, could be hitting some overhead resistance around the potential 50-day, which is around like $51. Not saying that they can't just slice through it, but this thing has had issues before around the $50 to $55 to $60 range previously. You can kind of make these wonderful make-believe trend lines here, which we kind of broken through it here. We can kind of just draw it here, potentially see if it can stay within this kind of range here to see if that continues to trend lower, to be quite honest. Oh shoot, my thing just updated here. 1 second. DMC 8282. Kenny, I'm gonna get my nuts crushed tomorrow. I can't. I got caught in a bad trade in NAT buy at 4. Oh, you bought NAT? The oil tanker company? Yeah, again, I don't know how earnings is going to play out. This thing, last earnings was kind of lackluster. I think a lot of the folks who wanted to get out of it have already got out of it. So I think the earnings movement will not be that substantial for you. I think it would probably move. The market's saying 50 cents. So I don't know exactly. I know 50 cents is pretty large for a company that's $4.50 stock, $4.50 ticker or stock price that could move substantially. But yeah, that's a difficult one. We are seeing a kind of a floor resistance around the 200 EMA. So hopefully it doesn't do too much damage for you there, my friend. Lemonade thoughts? Are they making hundreds of millions? Yeah, that's another new IPO as well, right? LM, what do you say? ND. Not too much information on this one. We kind of been charting this one. So normally I have like it's not a written rule, it's not set in stone, but I normally will not buy into an IPO the first 2 or 3 quarters because I want to get some of those weak hands or the people who thought that it's going to be going to the moon. It'd be a great opportunity to kind of pick it off when it's just been really beaten down and lackluster, like we did with Beyond Meat. Like Uber's still being beat down, but it's again a lot of it's to do probably to the pandemic. And I don't know if you guys heard that Airbnb is trying to go public too. Target is a great one. We have Walmart, so Walmart's coming out this week. We have some longer term Walmart positions. We'll see how those play out. Yeah, with Lemonade, be careful with it because again, it's a newer IPO. You're gonna have a lot of weak hands potentially in there. Alpaca, I've been looking to sell PGC. Are you saying the stock or just trying to buy some puts? PGC. I have no idea what this company does. This thing just kind of just trading in a base. It's going to be kind of difficult to kind of sell anything on this because the potential support's really going to be coming around like 1634. We are just seeing a really just tight trading range here and just not performing overall that well. Like it's not giving us any sense of direction where it could be going. Oh shoot, my thing just updated again. Ryan, thank you for the $1.50 for the hamburger. Appreciate it. Love you. You're welcome, DMC 8282. Airbnb is wanting to go public. AV for now, I'm long Tesla, Microsoft, Apple, and the best Amazon. That is a great looking stock portfolio just right there. Thoughts on MRMA, crypto mining company, and if their belief in Bitcoin might be a good play. RH Trader, AA Fu. So we can look at it. If it's not a penny stock, I'll take a look. Yeah, it's basically a penny stock. So it's basically a penny stock, and it just ripped higher again due to some kind of news or some kind of huge PR pump, and it's very difficult for me to kind of trade these RH Trader. How about Microsoft? Yeah, let's look at Microsoft. Microsoft, yeah, they're still trying to buy that TikTok, what I hear. With Microsoft, of course, it had that huge movement due to the fact of them potentially buying or being able to buy TikTok for, added to their portfolio, but there's some issues going on. They have until September 15th or something like that, so they got about a month left to kind of figure out a deal and how that's going to work. That being said, the overall movement's pretty tight here. It's basically around the 209 to 208 price target, which is the 618 from the previous movement, but we're going to reset that because we have a high here. So we're going to draw a much shorter time frame here, and we're seeing here a lot of movement not getting above the 210, which is that 50% retracement from the previous swing high to low. So we really need to see above the 210 price target to get above that 212 as well. Potential support is going to be around the 207 to around 205 trading range to the downside if you're going to be in the short term. Longer term, we're really going to be coming down to around the 50 or the 55, which is around the $200 price target there, my friend. Nicola dropped dead. The CEO is a scam artist. So, Jonathan, make sure you understand this, and I honestly agree with you. He's not I think his name's Trevor. Is it Trevor or Tyler? It's one of the T's. He's the chairman now. So he hired a CEO and a CFO that report to him. So he just kind of stands in the back now, but he is still in charge. So don't let him fool that. Yeah, between those, like Riot has a little bit more stable overall presence. Like it's not an overall penny stock, which I normally look at. It has recovered more, but it still fits the kind of underlying price where it did have a significant higher price way back when. Way back when, meaning like in early 2017, when everything was just going gangbusters with the crypto stuff, but now it's kind of been a little bit lackluster and just not performing as well. Oh, the CEO stepped down? Really? Coolest dad ever. What's up, my friend? We're going to look at VX. Let's look at that. VXRT. Whoa, this is a interesting one. This was basically a penny stock and really just recovered in the beginning of this year, really ripping higher here. Whatever happened here, they had some kind of large announcement. This is really much like a FOMO looking thing here as well. Not really my best cup of tea, to be honest with you. I don't do very well with these kind of patterns, with really just sporadic trading up and down, left and right. Again, hitting a high at 1750 basically, and just kind of coming down strongly. We're really kind of holding a pattern on the 34 EMA. That doesn't mean that that's going to hold. We do have the 5 and 8 cross already through the 21 and potentially trying to cross through the 34. If it starts breaking below the level of like $8.25, that would be kind of a get out of dodge for me without a doubt if I was just trading stock on this one, because I don't think the options market is going to be that great in this one. We'll kind of see on some of the ask and bids. It's not that terrible. We're seeing a lot of activity on here, actually much more than I thought. Yeah, this looks like an interesting one, but this is not really screaming at me at a potential breakout. We can look at this here. It would really need to, of course, it's not really getting above that $10.58 here, which is basically the first level of the Fibonacci retracements it would need to prove itself. And it really needs to get above those parabolic SARs, because those parabolic SARs are right now just pushing it down and not giving it room to breathe, and in the sense of not being able to break the trend. So this trend is still getting lower unless the closer these parabolic SAR dots get to the ticks or the candlesticks, and it gets the chance to get the momentum and break out. On the RSI and the volume zone oscillator, nothing's like crashing, but we're not seeing the amount of volume coming in here, and it was just kind of a bit of lackluster going there. Derek C, can we look at Fastly and Crowd? Yep, so we can look at some more of those folks as well. So Fastly, just like we talked about with Net. Oh, what was that? Thank you, best dad ever. Appreciate it, my friend. Thank you for the $5. The coolest dad ever, without a doubt. Let's see here with Fastly. We again had that same movement. We had these SaaS companies. These companies were doing very well with the pandemic, but now seeing a little bit of a trim due to the fact of folks kind of leaving this sector and kind of going into other gold or whatever else. They're taking cash out of the market, just kind of collecting some profits. A huge gap down, breaking on earnings here a lot. And we talked about this. We kind of did a screenshot potentially showing some support and resistance after the market announced on earnings. And we talked about potentially holding the 34. Of course, that just kind of broke through it. Now we're looking to the 50 or 55. So I've added this new line here. It's the 55 exponential moving average, which the 55 is a Fibonacci number. So that's why I use the 55 there. So that is really coming in for support here. To the short side, I really want to hold this, wants to stay above 74. These moving averages, the 5 and 8, really need to start curling, leveling off here. And we need to see this momentum switch to yellow here and start getting the volume zone oscillator above 0. And then you also said crowd. We'll do that one as well because it's been asked multiple times. So CrowdStrike kind of in the same resistance level here, really kind of failing here to kind of break above that 104 level, which is going to be that 21 EMA here. We need to see those 5 and 8 start again, stop curling down and start getting toward upward momentum, potentially start crossing through the 21. There was a lot of damage taken. We do have earnings coming out soon in September, though. That being said, that is quite far, 2.5 weeks away. Basically, a lot can happen, and this could be a kind of a roller coaster moving into earnings. So really strong support showing around $100, but we're also showing some sign of resistance around the 105 level to the upside. So be mindful of that, my friend. What do you think about NIO, please? Yeah, we can look at NIO. So this is the Chinese Tesla, whatever you want to call it, whenever you want to swing it. Had earnings, kind of a little of a really strange movement there. Ran up a lot, came back down. Really strong. Again, hit that 78.6 pretty much on the dot. That's $15. Was trying to break the trend on those parabolic SARs, which it did, switching it to the bottom. So this momentum is pretty strong, intact here. So we're still holding this 21 EMA. So that's a really key level that we're looking at here. So that's, again, around the $12.78 is basically the overall movement that we're still holding. We are in a squeeze. Potentially this could rocket higher if everything goes well. But that being said, you have to be super mindful of this. This could really just change at any second due to the fact that it's a levered company that's in China. Yes, the scrutiny is a little bit different over there in the accounting methods. We saw that with Luckett. I know people point at Enron here. I understand that. But things over there, especially the Chinese-based companies, are a little bit more risky from my perspective, how I look at it, rather than just owning Tesla straight out. The coolest data ever. That's about SRNE. Yes, so we got a lot of things about SRNE. So this thing has still. We made a video. Was it this week, or was it moved up substantially? Yeah, it was this week. It had a huge run up again due to the overall vaccine and everything. Then kind of came down. It hit the 21, but guess what? It bounced off the 21. We're looking for potentially just trading sideways around $13, anywhere from $13 to around $12, where it's currently looking at. The 5 and 8 moving averages are starting to come down here. The coolest data ever. Looking to kind of have these not break below the 21. That's going to be a key symbol of resistance there. But there's been a lot of damage done here. This was a huge run up higher, and just kind of blindsided a lot of folks. A lot of people were thinking this is going to go to $20, $30. We had a potential price target if it broke $19.87, which it really didn't, and then it could break $25. That hasn't happened yet, or I don't know if it will. Again, I'm not completely tied to the pharmaceutical companies. They're very difficult to, again, I honestly consider them basically a lottery ticket at times, or really just a coin flip, due to the fact that I understand that they can have the best data about XYZ drug, but if just something goes wrong, that stock can tank so bad. And I used to trade pharmaceutical companies because of just the crazy movement and the little amount of capital that you couldn't use, and just have things just explode to the upside and just do super fantastic earnings or super fantastic returns. But it was really much a coin flip from my perspective, and it wasn't really the greatest investment that I could have done with my money at the time. It was just more or less the trading mentality was like the odds of like, ooh, this company has a stage 3 XYZ drug that's going to be curing this disease that should be promising, and this going to run the stock up to $20 or whatever. So it's usually not my best stuff to kind of look at the pharmaceutical industry overall, because it can really, really burn you. Bren, what do you... Don't touch Space, guys. Yeah, Space had a really strange run-up and now kind of coming back down. We're looking for support to kind of come in around the $16 to $17, basically where the 200 EMA is for Space. Again, the damage has been done thanks to earnings. Broke below that $21 price target, which we initially had a stop on, and just continue kind of going lower, potentially trying to build a base here. We can see how that plays out. That being said, downside support is going to be around the 200 EMA. Upside pressure is going to be coming around $20 to $21 to the upside. And my chat is updated. Thank you, everyone. Ken is a big boomer. That a thing. Let's see here. You made $3,000 on NIO. Nice. Did you see that? I'm sorry. The coolest dad ever. Did you see the thing come through about SRNE? I didn't. I got the notification a little bit late. Hopefully you were able to see that. Let me know if you did not. I'll do it again for you, my friend. Hertz? Who's saying Hertz in here? Get out of here. don't everyone buy on Hertz. We can't do Hertz. It's gonna be too dangerous. We'll see how the Hertz is. What is that? I'm still surprised that's still out there trading. Is it HT? Is it HTZ? Yeah. It's at $1.55. Yikes. Let's see if... Let's see here. Wanted to make sure I got that. Oh shoot, did I miss? I want to make sure that the coolest dad ever saw. I want to make sure that he saw that. Got a thumbs up, a thumbs down on that. So with Hertz, I want to touch it with the 10-foot pole. Don't touch that. Don't YOLO anything on Hertz, guys. Can this recover? Maybe. I don't know. I wouldn't want to put money in it, though. My dad's rubber broke. What's with these people's names? So we looked at our... Oh, that's a Rocket Mortgage or Rocket Company. So this is one I was actually wanted to do a video on, but then I had to go to the hospital. So this one was looking at basically like a 4-hour chart, and we're looking at this potentially just trending lower. Again, being a newer IPO, this thing is going to be really much sensitive to the FOMO, the quick trade, trying to get early investment kind of situation. That being said, I need to wait a little bit longer to see how this plays out, unless you literally want to trade it for a very short period of time. If it's intraday or even 1 or 2 day trade, you're looking for this potential support around $18-ish, $18.83 to hold, and potentially get above that $20 price target. That's what you're looking at. Let me make sure of this here. Oh, it's P. Is it PCG? Oh, is that what I did? You're trying to go short this guy? Oh, I see what you're doing now. This looks a little bit better. Okay, alpaca. Let's see here. So with this one, PCG. I'm not sure. This company sounds very familiar. Looking at Did you post this just in the Discord? I think I might have looked this on my phone while I was laying down the other day. This looks familiar. This looks interesting. This is building a really strong base here. The quarter looked okay, it looked like, right here. But really having a squeeze in place here, it's going to be a difficult one to look at because the 5 and 8 are trying to break through here, potentially to go higher. It's going to be a difficult one to short there, Alpaca. I'm not saying it can't happen. It could fail here around the 50-day to the upside. It's going to be... I need to have this one... It needs to start breaking below the $9.20 to really show me some potential downside to even down to $8.78 to see the overall downplay of this overall ticker here. Cool, is that ever? Thank you for the $3. I'm glad you're able to see that chart. Appreciate it, my friend. Let's see here. Yeah, well, again, just remember the SRNE is basically could be a huge move up or down. Again, it's going to be super tied to very much making that deal, just like I'm trying to think of another company like Workhorse. They're going to be strictly, a lot of people are holding that stock because of a potential to deal with the post office. So be mindful of that. If that deal doesn't go through, they can be pretty bad. Wesley, what's up, my friend? Thank you. I appreciate it, my friend. Let's look at BA. Yeah, great. That thing kind of took a little bit of heat at the end of the week, but it's been performing fairly well with BA. Really, again, with BA holding that 21 EMA, kind of bouncing back, kind of make it somewhat of a stronger recovery. Seeing here, the parabolic SAR is above, even though that we're seeing better news than expected. With the overall airlines doing a slightly better in the sense of reporting better numbers, people are going out and flying, and potential, again, BA, there's only 2 companies in the world that really make commercial airlines, and I don't know if the demand's that high. The 45% of their business is somewhat more on the military government side, so I don't think they're going to be going anywhere. But we're looking, again, had a pretty strong recovery just this week, had a huge pop higher, almost hitting my target in the short term, basically at 193, but then kind of came back down, still held the 21, so this is good. So this is still somewhat intact of holding this particular pattern here, Wesley. Again, to the downside, we're looking for potential support around 162 and really want to see it break above the 193 to 194 price target. So my exit point on CA on fire is coming true. The fire, there's the fire in California, or CA is stock ticker. I don't think CA is a stock ticker. Is that the power company? I think this is what you're talking about. So you're playing. Okay, I see what you're doing now. I'm sorry, I didn't have the full story. It's all coming back now. Let me look at the. I'm going to add it to my list here. Let's see here. PCG. We'll see how that hits tomorrow. I think, again, the previous other squeeze, Paco, I think you're really doing your for what I'm looking at it, for me, it's going to be a little bit too early for me to jump in the trade, especially to the short side, because I'm not the best person to short stocks, because I'm not the confidence behind it. I really need to know the company a little bit better. It sounds like you really know it substantially better than I do. So previously I had a squeeze, kind of had the same pattern, holding the 21, kind of potentially building a base, and then I had a huge poop. Had a huge run up, then I had a poop here, and really broke above that $10.95 and lower. So we're kind of, what I'm looking at is potentially kind of getting it back down to around the lower $9. And once that kind of confirms it with me, and these moving averages start curling back over, then it would be potentially right for me to potentially to short it from there. That's the way I would just look at it. Boomers do like BA, I think. All right, let's see here. Let's see what we got here. Puts on Ellen. Ryan, you always got puts on someone, don't you? I love it. Oh, Fish Home Depot. They have, okay, Home Depot and Lowe's, right? I think I have a position on Lowe's, actually. I have sold some puts. So Home Depot, I'm going to call it the everyone wants to be a gardener, farmer trade, really just kind of running up higher, making an all-time high just last week, and just really holding that 5 and 8 moving averages fairly well. With earnings, again, complete coin flip. We can see what they're looking at. What is that day? Is that? That's the 18th. So basically Tuesday, right? Looking for a move about $12. That's pretty substantial. Basically support kind of coming in around, yeah, basically the 21 EMA here. Potentially to the downside support if the earnings the whole week doesn't do very well. That's what the market makers are particularly betting on or counting in for the mark. So again, how we do that, we look at the trade tab. We see the implied volatility, and you see the plus or minus $12.72 or 70, but basically $12.80 plus or minus. But we're not politically correct here, so it's just gonna have to be that precise. Potentially looking for a move to the downside here or even to the upside of basically trying to break above the 192 again. Just hitting an all-time high just a couple days ago. It's going to be a very difficult one to kind of keep up and moving, but this is a great looking chart here even on the weekly side. Ever since that V-shaped recovery from the pandemic has just been constantly climbing higher due to the fact of, again, everyone's staying at home. Everyone's redoing their home if they have the cash or the money available, and then just being an at-home gardener and just being able to take care of stuff like that. Yeah, I saw that. Warren Buffett sold a lot of his bank stuff and bought gold, and I think he has still a substantial position in Bank of America. That's like one of his favorite positions right now, I believe. That's what I read. Robert, can we take a look? Sorry, the chat's moving. I'm sorry. Can we take a look at KR? I'm expecting a pullback from an entry point. Is that Kroger? That's also a Warren Buffett stock, isn't it? So Kroger, this looks interesting. So we bought Kroger last earnings. Still hold it a level. We got it above that. It was a trade. We got it above that. The 618 kind of sold out of it. We bought it at the low levels around 30, sold it around 32, 33. Nothing substantial. It was just a very quick trade. Didn't expect to kind of keep this kind of grinding higher. Probably in the long term, it could still continue going higher. The chart looks really great here. Honestly, just continue going higher with more people staying at home. Restaurants suffering from, again, not being able to open, serve people. Just doing that kind of overall movement. Really going to be showing some support around 33.75 there. Looking for that kind of support to kind of come in here. That 33.75 is also coming in, lining up with the 50 and 55 moving averages. So just be mindful of that to the downside. I don't see earnings coming out or anything, so again, that already happened. But again, it's a grocery store. There's not, again, like a technology company. I don't see substantial movements up or down unless you see something like Warren Buffett buying into the company, and you basically, that's what you kind of moves you get over here. So if you're looking, this is like a really much a steady eddy, and for years it was really just trading at a pretty tight range, and now finally kind of breaking out and above that the $32, $33 range and starting to look for potential 37 price target. And again, this is on a weekly sign, so it's going to be a little bit further out. Really just holding that 5 and 8 moving averages, and a great buying opportunity when it comes down to the 21 on the weekly side. Wesley, thank you for the nice words. I appreciate it. I really do, my friend. Yeah, Warren Buffett's he's an old man, but he still knows his stuff, right? Danny B, I bought gold and silver. That's great. Thank you, Alpaca. I appreciate it. Thank you again for sharing that video. I like that a lot, actually. California's on fire for more than one reason, right, Ryan? Zillow, Redfin are really income favorite in real estate long term. That's a good point. So, Zillow had a great earnings call, right? They did really well on earnings, gapping up pretty large here. Now kind of coming back down to around the 8 moving averages, kind of trading sideways. Potentially could be coming down to the 21. Really didn't really get above that $80 price target, which we thought could happen. We could see that particular movement there, trying to break above that 1272 extension. I think I have something. When I was on my medicine, I bought some stupid thing. I think I might have bought. Yeah, I did buy a Redfin. Bought 100 shares of Redfin. Bought 100 shares of Redfin. Why did I do that? Let me see. It looks like, okay. So I bought 100 shares of Redfin. When was that? Why does it say pending as my sale? I bought it on Thursday. Okay. So that being said, I bought it on Thursday. The Redfin, basically what you can see here is that really holding that 100% move from the previous swing high. Oh, I just messed that all up. Cancel. I'm kind of zooming in here. I know there's a lot of lines going on here, but what we're looking at here is for Redfin to kind of stay above that $42. Oh, who just sent that in? Who was that? DMC8282, thank you for the $5, my friend. Really do appreciate it. Thank you. So back to Redfin again. I somehow purchased some shares there. Looking for this. It has a squeeze playing. We are seeing some potential movement, building a base here. Really want to see the 5 and 8 exponential moving averages hold here. If it starts breaking below here and you have a get out of dodge kind of price target around 41.83, which is basically the 21 and the 78.6 percentile move, that would be my get out, and my overall price target is trying to get above initial sell price around 46, then potentially even higher to like 50. So be mindful of that. Be very careful out there trading these various stocks. Again, I got in this as a stock position, no options on this one, and seeing how this can play out. Again, I think Redfin, Zillow is really taking over the market a lot more, and people are really seeing the really good side of the opportunities within those markets. We can kind of see here that stock really recovered substantially from the pandemic, kind of came back down, support around 35, and now it's kind of potentially building another base and just wants to continue to grind higher there without a doubt. Thank you, Alpaca. I really do appreciate that. You're welcome, my friend. DMC8282. I hope your NAT position works out tomorrow on the earnings call. I think you said it's at 5 a.m., right? Yeah, he bought the GOLD, which is Barrick Gold Company. He didn't buy straight gold, correct? Zillow, Redfin is a compute disruptor. Analysis on AMD. We can do AMD without a doubt, yes. We love AMD. This thing, AMD, is potentially looking for some overall potential consolidation here. Again, we had a huge move higher with AMD. This move doesn't even do it justice. So I know Ryan and a couple other folks held it with me substantially, buying in around these dips here. Basically had it not being able to break above 60 and coming back down to 50, just trading in this range for months at a time. Finally had that move. Huge gap up, sold some at 65, then some at 70, then some at 80, and then most of it was out of it, and then it hit like 85, and I was like, okay, I gotta roll some of this out, and huge profits all the way up. Now looking for some consolidation here. Again, looking for some support here around the 21, so be around 75 to 73 to the downside, and really looking to kind of capture that upside target around $95 to the upside. Because again, AMD is really just taking on market share. You saw that huge market decrease in Intel stock and just really getting pummeled on the not being able to keep up with the technologies that AMD is, and they're saying there's some offsets of processors coming out and just being kind of behind the ball. We're seeing again with Intel hit a huge gap down on earnings and just having a heck of a time to try to get above that $50 price target. Really just not able to swim and stay above water here. Looking for, if you want to be long Intel, you got to really see that above $50 and potentially getting it back up to around the $52 price target and seeing these 5 and 8 moving averages kind of cross through that 21 once again. Yeah, Intel's going to be a difficult one. Like it's just trading sideways here in the base here. It could be easily come back down to 4. It can come down to 45, but it really looks like it wants to build a base here and potentially start trying to grind higher if some good news kind of comes out from there. I don't know if I can kick Intel out, but AMD is clearly the champion of the world right now. Greg B, what's up, my friend? How does Nike look? Yeah, we can look at Nike. So I guess I do have a position in Nike too. I'm just looking at my Tasty account. I guess I bought some stock. I thought I had this already. So when I broke out of this range here, basically above 100. Now was looking for the 105 target. Now looking for potential the 118. I think with this, I think Nike, Lululemon, all these companies that do workout stuff, yoga pants, anything that people work from home is really going to be potentially even taking off more than people think due to the fact of a lot of people are just at home trying to get back in shape, all that kind of fun stuff. That being said, that movement has already been in place, so we're really looking for this kind of the 105 to kind of hold because the squeeze did fire, hit that overall target. Now looking for this potential to kind of build sideways and potentially wait for another squeeze to kind of get above that 118. We do have dividend coming out soon. Nothing to report on earnings because it looked like it already had it. To the downside, looking for potential support around $100 for Nike there. I think that was, who was that? Who asked about that one? I just lost it. Greg B, I think. Oh, you have eye surgery? Ooh, good luck with that, my friend. Appreciate it, my friend. Take it easy. Nvidia Analysis. Yes, we can look at Nvidia without a doubt. So we just talked about AMD, and we should be talking about, and I just whacked that one. If I can remember. I'm terrible. My brain's not awake, guys. I'm sorry. NDVA. No. I'm bad. I gotta look this up. My brain's half asleep. There it is. So Nvidia has been a absolutely monster of a stock. Been really performing super well here. Ever since the pandemic, really just holding that 21 EMA all the way up here. Again, hitting an all-time high just last week. Really looking forward to kind of push that $500 price target. To the downside, we're really looking for, oh, that was a weird thing. Downside support's really going to come in around that previous high here that we're looking at from that Fibonacci retracement movement around the 430 price target. That's the $100 100% move there from the Fibonacci retracements, and it's also where the 21 lines up. So that's kind of a lot of support here between the 442 and then the 431 to the downside. That being said, we have earnings coming out this week, it looks like, on the 19th, so that could be substantial. Let's look on the movement this week is $35. Whoa, that's a pretty substantial move that can easily put us up above that $500 price target if all things are shooting on all cylinders to really get that stock moving. Again, I hope everyone knows that I'm not usually a favorite person to buy calls into earnings, but this one could be a pretty big monster if it really does perform very well. But this is something that it's going to be kind of a hard bet to do. So be very careful and be mindful that this really could be a large move up or down. I'm more the optimistic kind of person, so I always want things to kind of go up unless I don't like the company, but I love Nvidia. I think they're doing great things over there, so potentially looking for that price target around $500, or to be politically correct, we're looking for around $4.97. Greg B. EA, yeah, is EA... So with EA, it looks like it's kind of consolidating here, coming back down to 21. Potentially could be building a base here for a potential kick higher. So we've seen this before, where it kind of comes down here to 21 for a couple days or a week, and then it kind of breaks out. Comes down to 21 for a week or two, then it kind of breaks out and continues moving with the 5 and 8 exponential moving averages, and just kind of grinding higher from there. That being said, we're really looking for support around the 137 to the downside. It's kind of been a really good buying opportunity if it starts trading between the 21 and 34 on the daily side. That being said, earnings is kind of behind us. There isn't going to be a large catalyst to my knowledge on the sense of EA. I think, again, a lot of people are just playing at home, playing video games. Of course, EA has pretty much a smorgasbord and a monopoly and different other various sets of games. That being said, we have the new consoles coming out this winter as well, so that's going to be a huge component for potentially buying, more people getting into video games, more people buying and upgrading games and things like that. So it'd be a great one to consider without a doubt. So EA definitely looks like, DMC 8282. Nike does look like it wants to break out, but it kind of has already slightly broken out from 100 to 105. We kind of want to have that 105 kind of hold and see how that potentially looks like. Blue, thoughts on Adobe. So Adobe is one we also have traded a little bit as well. We've been kind of holding and buying it between the 21 and 34. It's like we just previously talked about that. To kind of can hold this pattern here. It's just kind of slowly steady eddy here. It had a huge movement. It just had a huge pattern of just continue going higher here. And now it's kind of I wouldn't say it's just kind of stopped that really strong movement. Now it's just kind of just trading here sideways a little bit. In a range, we can just call this a range here. We can kind of just put some a box around it, kind of give it this range here. Potentially to the upside, we need to really break that previous high to kind of get above that 465. To the downside, we really want to start seeing if we're short on it to kind of really break below, let's just say, actually this right here, I like this a little bit better. Basically break below the 430 price target. That would be kind of your get out if you have a stop, if you're long in it. Because if you start seeing the 5 and 8 cross to the 21, which we haven't seen yet, which is close. The 5 and 8 have gotten really close to the 21, but they haven't aggressively crossed through it, and we haven't seen this really close significantly below the 34. That 50-day has come in for some support too, because the 50-day is still trying to climb higher and just kind of continue moving this movement. We do have a squeeze, which could be an indication for a potential pop in either directions. This has been a very strong indicator as well. We really just need to see the RSI and volume zone oscillator participate here and really see this potential moving up or down from there. Blue. EA, yeah, 151. Activision sucks. Activision did not have a great quarter. It hasn't really recovered from there, has it? Wesley, QCOM, yeah, so QCOM is one that we've been holding in the portfolio for some time due to the fact of It's a 5G movement stock, and it's a great little play in that. Again, on the quarter, had a huge move and just continued grinding higher. Just taking market share, just being the market leader, and again, really playing that 5G movement here. So just be very mindful of that. This thing has been just continuing grinding higher, looking for potential support around the 105 if it does want to start coming down. Potential price targets going higher. We're looking for around 125 potentially, really around 120 for potential for a next movement of potential selling. It's going to be looking for that to kind of continue going higher. Yeah, so again, just be very mindful that Activision had a great quarter, a lot more people using it, things like that. But it gets all about the perspective of what the outcome or the guidance is, how things are moving. It had a huge run up already into earnings. It's very difficult to explain why stocks go down. It doesn't mean that the company's crashing or doing things like that. It could have just had a little bit too much movement. There could have been people moving around money. People just wanted to get out of the stock for whatever reason. But we're seeing some consolidation here around the 34 and 21. The only thing here on Activision Blizzard, we're seeing the 5 and 8 start trying to cross through the 21 here, and we had that $81 price target now looking for potential support to the downside around 78.34. So be very super mindful of that. So be very careful at that on that one, because again, this thing has been trading fairly well since the pandemic. Again, a lot of people, again, with that rotation out of technology companies, we kind of saw that previously, and that could be some weak hands coming out here. It could be a buying opportunity around the 50-day. So please don't spam 13 times like that. I appreciate that. So Herbalife, I have nothing to say on that one. If you can give me the ticker, I don't know the ticker symbol right off the back of my head, but I think that they are definitely one I really want to put my money into, to be quite honest. Jimmy Jones, first time here. Thank you, my friend, for joining. Great stuff. Your thoughts on ZM? Thinking a lower PE. Yeah. So I don't really look at PE, the PE ratio, my friend. That being said, on Zoom, I have a longer term position in this. We really want to see this it really bounced hard on the 55 here. We'll see how this movement holds. The 5 and 8 have crossed through the 21, which we're really not a big fan of. We want to see these, again, the 5 and 8 have started to trade sideways. Really want to start seeing these kind of curl up and get through the 21 and potentially test the 272 potentially there. To the downside, we're looking for, if it starts breaking below the 224 or the $224, that would be a get out of Dodge scenario for us. That is something that I could not hold. Again, it sounds like that you could potentially are going short this on just your comments on the crazy PE ratio. But this is something that I think still has, I'm playing this as more of an earnings run, so this is potentially could run up to around the 260 to 270 in the short term to pre-earnings. So you didn't give me the ticker for Herbalife like I asked for, so can you give me the ticker symbol, please? And can you stop spamming me? That would be fantastic, my friend. J&J, yeah. Okay. J&J, yeah, let's look at J&J. So I think we actually have J&J as well. That's on a longer term portfolio. Of course, this one is if you really want to place a pharmaceutical company, this is the only one I can the one I really just straight out own, because it just has a huge, diverse portfolio, and it's just been so diverse in its overall business model, and just continue having exposure in so many different aspects of everything. Really just looking at the holding this 21 EMA, potentially looking for that squeeze to fire long. We're really looking for that price target in the short term to kind of start breaking above that $150, because we've really been in this really tight range ever since the later stages of April into May. Really have not been able to kind of get out of this pattern here. The 200-day on the daily side has been some strong support to the downside, so really looking for support to the downside around 142, and then upside we're going to be looking for 156. Herbalife is a pyramid scheme. I watched the documentary. Herbalife is something that I would not want to put my money into, and I think Bill Ackman went pretty short on it, so we'll give you a quick little look at it here. This thing has been kind of trading all over the place, really kind of crossing through the 21 here, potentially looking like it's trying to catch a break here around the 50-day, which is the red line here, potentially looking for some support here. With earnings, it looked like it missed, and it's kind of getting beat down here a little bit, looking for some potential support around the 50-day. Again, no honest opinion. My honest opinion of the company is just what I understand of it. It's not the greatest run, but that's, again, there's two sides to every story, and I just really just look at the chart. So right now, this thing has been beaten up before, but that 50-day has kind of come in for resistance. But again, that could go further down due to the fact that we are seeing those moving averages not starting to kind of level off here. So be very mindful of that. Kelly D, yeah, let's do low. So let's low is Lowe's, right? Lowe's at Home Depot, both reporting earnings. I think I have position in Lowe's. Let me look at my account real fast. Low. Yep, I have a position in Lowe's. Longer term, just selling like 45-day puts in September. And we're selling the 145s that I want to make sure I double check that before I say something. I'm not. Yes, we're selling the 145s. 140 is about the 140. Well, selling the 145s is about the 140. So we're doing like a put credit spread. So looking for on earnings to hold basically above 145. With earnings, they're saying a plus or minus move of basically $10. Again, that can go drastically higher or lower. Really kind of playing it too close to the chest, to be quite honest. So I'm going to be super mindful if this continues kind of going lower the next day or two, as I might have to roll my puts further out or bring them in or roll the price down or up, depending on how that works out. But initially, this thing has been a great performer, holding that 5 and 8 moving averages, kind of coming down to the 21 for a couple times here, Kelly D, and just kind of been a great little buying opportunity in the short term. That being said, hit an all-time high, potentially looking for 167. I don't know if it's going to happen on the quarter, but that's going to be the next overhead sign of resistance and to the downside, really around the 145 if things really go sour. Let's see. Okay, the chat is updated. Thank you, everyone. Let's see. So many folks in here today. Brian, we did AMD. I'm sorry, we did Qualcomm, Intel, Nvidia. We can do Walmart. We haven't done Walmart. So Walmart also has earnings this week, as Lowe's as well. We just did. This thing has been trading pretty strangely, and this is how we're looking at some potential movement coming up here. We're seeing a squeeze set in place. We have earnings set as well. We are really having a difficult time to get above that $133 price target here. To kind of break above this, we have been pounding on it a couple weeks ago, kind of sold off here a little bit, came down to the 21, took a little rest, got some exercise, or got another granola bar, ate some yogurt, had a great time, and then now it's kind of trying to climb higher to get above that 133 potentially. With earnings this week as well, we're looking for a move of plus or minus $6.50. That can easily put us above that 133 level there as well. Potentially support to the downside is around the 21, and where those parabolic SAR purple dots are coming into, which is at 128. So be mindful of that out there, folks, for a Wally mark. Netflix split. Yeah, Netflix has already split once. So with Netflix, I think they split in 2014. No, they didn't do 2014. What did they do? We can look on the chart here. Let me bring it up. So Netflix split in mid of 2015. Yeah, and it's just been running up there again. It's been a great looking stock, right? So with good old Netflixies, this thing has been super volatile, even though since its last quarter, it's just been kind of trending lower here a little bit, and it's having a really difficult time with those parabolic SARs to it's kind of just keeping it down to see this kind of play out. Potentially looking for a lot of support here on the 50 and 55 moving averages, so basically around 475 is going to be really strong support. That being said, we're starting to see the 5 and 8 kind of curl sideways and trade parallel to the 21, and want to start seeing these kind of curl up to break above the 21 and kind of tap that the $500 limit to kind of switch that overall trend to the upside. Yeah, definitely Walmart wants to break out, but again, earnings is a complete coin flip and anything can really happen. I can't recommend Kodak, or no, I can't do anything on Kodak, my friend. No. Wesley SQ, great stock. Wesley SQ has been another big game winner for us, like as AMD. Really had a large gap up on that fat fingered quarter. Basically, someone released it early, and then they had to break it out. Luckily, I had calls on it already. Now, kind of coming down to that 1272 extension here, building a base here around 140. Potentially want to start seeing this kind of start curling above and getting above 147, and seeing this kind of start breaking higher to those parabolic SARs to kind of break above that. Kelly D, you're telling me. I had to look at this chart multiple times. It just basically, everyone just thinks the virus is just canceled, honestly, and just people are just kind of getting out of this. This is kind of a very sad story. So this was a trade that we did substantially, pretty longer positions in it. Really getting kind of cut in half. That 5 and 8 cross to the 21, still pointing to the ground. So it's showing some overall just like negativity, potentially for the downside. Really looking for some support around 220 here, basically. That can't hold. We can potentially look into like 215. So this has not been a great trade for me. This is one of the ones that my doozies. So particularly this one, and then DraftKings has been one that this year has just kind of been slapping me in the face. Luckily, I have more winners than losers, so that's always a good thing, right? Johnny Bravo, what's up, my friend? Thanks for joining. It seems like Robinhood traders are kicking my butt. What do you mean by that? I don't have a lot of tech exposure to pricey, but considering adding Apple to my daughter's account, teenagers love iPhones. I'm personally buying in on CMG. If they split, I like whole shares, LOL. Same way, Johnny Bravo. I think teenage daughters love that. Like, I do that as well. Like, I find out what my daughter is much younger, but like loves Disney Plus. Loves Disney Plus. Loves anything Disney. So I've been a long-term Disney holder as well. So Disney is one as well. With Apple, I think with their split, that's going to be a great little trade as well. With Apple is just going to be around for quite some time. I don't think it's going to be going anywhere. We can look at Apple though. Let's see, because they're supposed to be giving splitting here soon towards the end of the month. Again, we're really looking for that overall pressure around 472. Again, I never thought we would be talking about this pre or before the split. I think this really could ramp up towards the end of the month, even though it's not free money. People still want to buy it for some reason and just potentially trade it like that. That being said, we would be super mindful again. Like if you had $10,000 in Apple, you're still gonna have $10,000 in Apple at the beginning of September because you're just gonna have a little bit larger quantity of shares. You're still not gonna be able to. You're not gonna get free money. So just be super mindful of that. Even though you can't just sell puts in it or calls in it to collect premium, it's still gonna be they're gonna be factoring that out. So be careful of that. Apple has been super strong without a doubt, guys. And this thing, again, looking for some potential support target, basically is 472 to the downside, which is going to be hard to say for Apple, is basically around 428, which seems so far away. But anything can happen in the market without a doubt. So just be mindful of that. Don't trade emotionally and just kind of let things kind of work for you. I'm going to do a couple more tickers, folks. We can look at Tesla here, then I'm going to actually call it, and I am getting, it's not the most comfortable to sit here. And definitely, I'm going to be doing some more stuff. We're going to be working on some videos tomorrow, start getting back on a daily video, and potentially some more live streams throughout the week, guys. So just be heads up on that. And I know I've been gone for the last couple of days, so be mindful. I'll be much more active in Discord as well. So with Tesla, again, they're announced a split just like Apple towards the end of the month. Really performed really well. Looking for, again, this thing is a cold stock, so be super mindful of this. We can see this movement in Tesla looking for potential price target around 2,000. Can it happen? Yes. I think Tesla can hit 2,000 without a doubt. Can it hit at 2,000 before August or the end of August? I don't know. Anything can happen in the market, and anything, especially with Tesla, can do anything because the folks that own Tesla stocks are usually really cultish stock, and those people who really love it. You love it or you hate it kind of scenario. Really looking for that movement with that stock split. That really is just a lot of great news for a lot of people. People are going to be super excited that are able to buy one share of Tesla. So I think this really can get things moving without a doubt in Tesla and be super, super beast mode. Yeah, I think really people, yeah, exactly. They're going to go to the $2,100 price target and get that 420 price target. Yeah, we'll look at Disney as well, Wesley. I think someone else has said that as well. So Disney, long-term holding for me and my portfolio. Had that great move on earnings. Really just knocked it out of the park. Lack of expressions. Their parks are being opened back up. More business coming in. The Disney streaming app is doing very well. They're getting a lot of movement in that. Sports is coming back, and so that's all another great news for ESPN as well. Really seeing that pop, really break above 125, which was basically the breakout move, and just kind of continuing grinding higher. Support's going to be around 125. We're looking for 137 though, to kind of break above that for the next initial price target. ARKF? What is that? That's okay. You just put a lot of things on that. There's a lot of. Oh, there's the ARK investing. Okay, yeah. Kathy is doing a great job over there. Bruce W. Baba. Yeah, we'll look at Baba. They have earnings this week as well, right? So this one has been an interesting one as well. As a lot of you may or not know, I'm not usually the biggest fan of Chinese-based companies. That being said, we're seeing some really strong buying around that between the 21 and 34 EMA. So basically in between the 250 to 245 price target, there was a lot of buying in here, especially on options. And seeing this kind of start moving higher. Again, with earnings, we're potentially looking for a nice run to kind of fill this gap, try to get above the 260 here potentially. Downside's going to be looking around the 245 for those movement there. We can look at FB. Like FB is Facebook. Facebook had, again, just kind of been trading in a range here. Just has not been able to break above that 278, which we thought could happen. And it hasn't been breaking below the 248 as well. So this is kind of just trading in a range here. I know it hasn't been too extreme and it hasn't been in this cage for a little bit. But it's kind of just been just trading sideways here a little bit, potentially looking for that move. Really need to start seeing it above that initial price targets, above the 278 there as well. McDonald's, yeah, we look at McDonald's, Mickey D's. McDonald's, great little movement here. It's kind of been in that trading range between those two potential tops here. With earnings, kind of came back down to 21, and now just really continue going higher, which is a great little move here. Not breaking to all-time highs again, but it's still making a pretty strong recovery. We can do a quick fib there for use. Yeah. So really had issues around the $200 price target, now breaking above that, looking for some initial overhead pressure kind of coming in at the 212 to 215 price targets, really coming to try to reach that previous high at 220 here on the daily, yearly chart here, looking for 220 initially. Again, that can happen at any time. That's going to probably take substantially longer to get up there because, again, it's McDonald's, not a Tesla. It's going to be slowly grinding here to kind of get up to that level. But, yeah. Ariel WJWN. Ariel, were you the one who talked about, the retirement home facilities? Is this another, or this is Nordstrom. Am I thinking about another Ariel? So with Nordstrom, really been beaten down stock. Not my favorite thing to go after. I'm not a big retail person, so I don't really have the most knowledge of this. We're looking for, it has earnings coming out, so it's going to be very difficult for me to kind of really give a price target on this one. Really looking to kind of see this kind of break above the the $20 price target to the upside. So earnings is the 25th, and the earnings the 25th. So probably about a $3 to $4 move here. We're looking for some movement to kind of get above that $20 price target. That really needs to break above that. We've seen that movement kind of fail multiple times here at $20. Potentially could happen again. So Nordstrom is not something I really want to be getting into, honestly. So you are the one. So thank you for. I actually got into Tower, and that was a nice little move here. I think we brought it in around like 51 or 52. Had a nice options, rode it all the way up to that previous 50% retracement, took some of it off, and kind of letting the rest ride potentially to kind of get above that 61 to 66 potentially there. So thank you for that. Yeah, you must know some more than I know. I don't have the best understanding of the retail sector. That being said, on the chart, it's just not something that's really jumping out at me. Sorry, I just misspelled that. What was this ticker again? What was Nordstrom's ticker? Oh, JWN. Okay. There we go. Because when we look on the weekly side, like even pre the pandemic, it was not doing very well. It's just kind of been really well beat down. I think for a trade idea, that could maybe be a nice little movement here, but even on the weekly side, we're hitting a lot of resistance here. The only thing is, if you're super long term, and it's going to be a hard one to buy options on, this might be better just with stock. We are seeing that momentum kind of switch here, but that hasn't been that much strength coming into here. We want to see that shake of money flows on the weekly side to get above zero. That's going to be an indication of the institutional investors really getting in behind the stock. So just be very mindful of that. It's going to be very difficult. Again, I'm not the most biggest retail guy there as well. Yeah, again, I'm sure you're up a lot with, again, that movement has been substantial here in the last week or so. But again, if you're bigger picture, again, I think this might be a great trade idea. But with earnings on the horizon, it's going to be very difficult for me to kind of recommend all that the options, particularly with the IV crush. Yeah, my dad's rubber broke. W has been a monster as well. So with W, we're really looking for potential price target to come in around the 348, and that's the next basically upside target that we're looking at here. That could be pretty monstrous up there. That continue grinding higher again. A lot of folks buying furniture again, staying home, saving money. A lot of different things around that. Potentially looking for downside support around the 21 if it ever gets down to that. We have seen the 21 kind of coming for support substantially quite a few times here on the way up, so be mindful of that. Guys, on that note, I'm going to go actually call it a night. I'm actually getting quite tired. I've been live streaming for about 90 minutes. Again, I thank everyone for the lovely wishes for me to get better. I really do appreciate it. If you have any other questions, please join the Discord or the Patreon page or even the YouTube join Dyslexic Investor Club. You can reach out to me, whatever. I can get back to you and we can look at some charts again, things like that. That is the end of the stream. I appreciate everyone coming out again. We will be doing more videos coming out. I know I've been kind of off. I've been bedridden basically, or we're getting back into doing some more analysis and more live streams coming this week, and we'll be start working on daily videos as well for everyone. So again, thank you everyone for coming out. I really do appreciate it. Have a safe night. Take it easy, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.